Hey everybody, welcome to our downtown studios. I am John Ramdeen and this is Fight News Now Extra, where Robin Black and I discuss some of MMA's pressing topics. Making headlines today, a former UFC champion's court case stalls, the Dragon takes the lion's share of the prize money from the Florida Fight Night card, and a BJJ master is out of his upcoming clash with an MMA legend. Former UFC light heavyweight champion Jon Jones will have to wait for his day in court. The district attorney overseeing the case has stated they are missing two pieces of critical evidence: medical records of the alleged victim and the police report from the Albuquerque PD. The 27-year-old Jackson Winklejohn fighter is charged with leaving the scene of an accident involving death or serious injury. Despite losing via third-round KO when he faced off with Yoel Romero this past Saturday, former light heavyweight champion Lyoto Machida will have something to smile about. The Dragon earned the biggest payday from the event, taking home $200,000 for his effort. The entire fighter payout for the show in Hollywood, Florida was $601,000. The loss marks the third setback in the Brazilian's previous four, bringing his record to 22-7. UFC and Pride veteran and combat sports royalty Gracie has been forced to withdraw from his upcoming super fight with welterweight great Matt Hughes. The two were set to meet at the ADCC event in late August, but the Brazilian will now have to tend to an injured knee. Ben Henderson, Keenan Cornelius, Chris Cyborg, and Rickson Gracie's son Crone are just a few of the world's athletes who will take part in the competition. Don't forget to tune in to FN's preview show. It all goes down Saturday, July 11th as we head into UFC 189 as Conor McGregor looks to become the featherweight champion by taking out Jose Aldo. Then Rory McDonald will hope to become the 170-pound champion as he takes on ruthless Robbie Lawler. And then tune in after the pay-per-view as we have the post-fight press conference and all the analysis from UFC 189. Happy to be joined by Robin Black. Lyoto Machida taking home $200,000 for getting stopped by Yoel Romero. This is what he does. He's a prize fighter. You know, I've referenced it in the past. Rashad Evans says, you know what, when I first got into this game, much like Rory McDonald, you want to remain undefeated. You want to try to be the best that you could possibly be. But the reality is nobody is going to remain undefeated in mixed martial arts. So you have to look at the game completely different. And he looks at it as a prize fighter. My job is to go in and put on sensational performances. Vitor Belfort has that same approach. Does Lyoto Machida have that same approach, considering he's still making some good money? Maybe it's not the money that they should be making, because as a top draw, as a main event, guys, and if you're a boxer, you're making $1 million or more dollars. I know Lyoto Machida, I'm sure the UFC is taking care of him in other ways, but let's just say it's $500,000. It's still not enough money. But how does Lyoto Machida move forward? Does he look at, okay, you know what? I believe that I can get back into the mix and defeat Luke Rockhold, to defeat Chris Weidman, maybe not Jacare, but avenge a loss to Yoel Romero? Or does he just say, I'm going to step back and take fights because I'm a prize fighter?
Yeah, there's a lot going on for him, man. I'm glad he is a millionaire, and that's good. He's a great fighter. He's earned it. He's entertained a lot of people. He's been a star. He's been a champion. I don't look at it, you know, just honest view at a 37-year-old guy who has lost to the two guys at the top and now another guy in the top four, that he's all that close. It may be still the belief and the dream for him, but I think he's better off to, I mean, who am I to say who's better off? I think looking in the short term, it's how do we get in good shape? How do we entertain? How do we stay healthy? How do we make a nice paycheck? And that man has been doing that, and good for him. It's tricky, though, because people, every time there's another 10 minutes on Lyoto, well, there's 10 more minutes to research. And he has a style that was unknown to everybody before. And every 10 minutes of research, there's more we know about it. More we understand his tendencies. And he has built his game like a college, we talked about this on 5 Rounds today, a college student. You look in the back of their TV and their sound system and stuff, they've got brand new speakers, they've got 3 generations of video games. All the wires are so tangled, and there's splitters, and there's 27 plugs, because as they keep building that system, they have to reinvent it every single time. That's how his game is. When you build a guy from the ground up in that very structured way, it's all very labeled. You want to change something, you take one cable out, you put a different cable in. He's got a complex spider web that is his game. Very hard to change something like that. Very hard to take a unique fighter and add things. They're doing it with Shogun right now. We'll see how that turns out. So it's a very difficult thing for him. Great fighter, brilliant, brilliant entertainer, brilliant martial artist, and I hope for him, one fight at a time, to start getting some wins back.
Terrible news for the grappling world. Gracie is out of his super fight bout with the great Matt Hughes. It was all set to go down in Brazil at the end of August. If you're Matt Hughes, obviously he's itching for competition. I mean, I'm sure he believes that when he watches some of the guys at 170 pounds, I'm pretty sure he's confident that he could beat some of those guys. If you're Matt Hughes, do you try to get a replacement bout, or is it just Matt Hughes, Renzo Gracie, something of that stature?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, Nick Diaz said it best. I don't want to jump around with these young guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's true. You're Matt Hughes. You're a legend. Fight, compete, grapple, kickbox, whatever you want with some other legends. And I'm guessing, Matt Hughes is on the phone. Yeah, well, see who's out there. Because if one of those other names makes sense, let's do it.
I think you just set it up.
Yeah.
ADCC, Nick Diaz, Matt Hughes, 170 pounds, a grappling match. Who in the world wouldn't want to watch that and obviously elevate the level? I mean, it's already high enough. Renzo Gracie and Matt Hughes, great matchup. And then you had Ricardo Laborio, a guy that many people believe is the best jiu-jitsu coach in mixed martial arts or jiu-jitsu, taking on Mario Sperry, a man that was at the helm of Brazilian top team where Ricardo Arona and Minotauro Nogueira, they were at that school. So these guys are set to collide.
Awesome.
And if you've never seen ADCC, it is all no-gi grappling, and it brings out some of the best in the jiu-jitsu world or the submission wrestling world or guys that come from an American wrestling background. This year, Benson Henderson's going to be competing. You have some of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world. Are you a fan of this stuff?
Yeah, this is awesome. And Laborio is the one that I'm interested in seeing. Because certain people in any sport kind of become legends.
Yeah.
You know, and the legends in their skill level. It doesn't matter what sport it is, that sort of that upper level gets to a point where it's pretty competitive. And then I'm told LeBron James comes along and everyone's like, oh my God, this guy's so good. And they say that's what Laborio's like to this day. They say in the gym, you go in and you grapple with the best black belts in the world and it's very competitive. You understand. This guy comes in there, it's all over. That I gotta see. But yeah, man, grappling's a beautiful sport. If you never trained jiu-jitsu or submission wrestling, you can do it. There's gyms everywhere. It's fun. You're not gonna get hurt. It's something everyone should do.
It's very, very cool. Very similar to Metamoris. It's all about competition, trying to go for the finish, and that's what I like about ADCC. It brings so many athletes from different martial arts backgrounds, whether it's jiu-jitsu, judo, catch wrestling. They all compete on one stage. That is it for us. Don't go anywhere. More FNNE is still coming your way.